In this video, I'll take one email thread with a new buyer lead and generate a complete buyer persona profile, their estimated price sensitivity, primary motivation, timeline, communication style, and a conversation strategy for the first call in under 5 minutes. Without this, I'm either winging the first call or spending 30 minutes reading between the lines of a few emails and making guesses. Here's the workflow that changed how I prep for every new buyer. Before we start, quick disclaimer. This is a productivity demo, not professional advice. The data on screen is fictional. Real estate rules vary by country and state. Check your broker and local regulations before using any of this with real clients. Some tool links are affiliate. Full disclosure in the description. Now, the workflow. Here's the situation most of us know well. A new buyer lead comes in. Maybe from Zillow, maybe from your website, maybe a referral. They've sent you 2 or 3 emails. You have a call scheduled in an hour. What do you know about them? Honestly, in most cases, not much. You know their name, their rough area, maybe a price range if you're lucky. The manual prep process looks like this. You reread the emails a couple of times. You Google the neighborhood they mentioned. You maybe look at what's currently listed in that range. And then you try to form a sense of who this person is and what approach to take on the call. That process takes me 30 minutes on a good day, and the results are inconsistent. Some leads I walk into knowing exactly how to frame the conversation. Others I'm figuring it out live on the call, which is not where you want to be when trust is still forming. Okay, let's do this. I'm opening claude.ai, and starting a fresh conversation. I want to show you the full workflow from zero. In a real scenario, you'd have this email thread open in one tab and Claude in another. Now I'm pasting in the email thread. This is our sample lead data, completely fictional. 3 emails back and forth. The lead's name is John Sample. He reached out about a property in Testtown, Texas. I'm going to paste all 3 emails as one block of text. Before I show you the good prompt, let me show you the mistake I made the first time. I just typed "analyze this buyer" and hit enter. Watch what Claude gives you. See that? You get a paragraph or 2, some general observations. It might say this buyer seems motivated, or they appear price conscious. Technically correct, but completely useless for call prep. There's no structure, no actionable sections, nothing I can scan in 30 seconds before the call starts. The prompt is the difference. Let me show you the structured version. New conversation. Pasting the email thread again, same block. And now the structured prompt. This is the one worth saving. There it is. Let me walk through this section by section. Price sensitivity. Claude read the "my wife is more cautious" signal and the 2-year delay and called this correctly. They have a stated range, but there's a risk aversion factor that will make them resistant to stretching. That is genuinely useful context before a first call. Primary motivation, lifestyle, specifically school district. Timeline, real but soft. School year deadline creates a natural pressure point, but they're not panicked yet. Communication style, casual, collaborative. They want to feel informed, not sold. That communication style section is the one that surprised me the first time I ran this. It's not just generic. It picked up that John uses hedging language like "honestly" and "I think," which suggests he wants to feel like he's arriving at decisions himself, not being pushed. The "one thing to avoid" section, I want to call this out. Claude flagged. Avoid framing the lender step as urgent or scary. These buyers are already anxious about overextending, and pushing too hard on pre-approval as a first step could spook them. That's exactly right. I've lost a lead before by leading too hard with "you need to get pre-approved before we can do anything." For a cautious first-timer, that lands wrong. Knowing that before the call is genuinely valuable. This came from a question in last week's video comments. Someone asked how I prep the opening of a first buyer call, specifically the first 30 seconds. So I added a second prompt for exactly that. Here it is. And there's the opener. 3 sentences, warm tone. Acknowledges they've been thinking about this for 2 years signal without making them feel judged, and leave space for them to talk. That's it. I'd read this once, internalize the tone, and go into the call with that energy. The exact wording doesn't matter, the framing does. Now let me show you how I save this. I copy the full persona output, all 6 sections plus the call opener, and I paste it into the CRM note for this contact. If you use Notion, paste it there. If you use a notes field in Follow-Up Boss or HubSpot, paste it there. Takes about 30 seconds. And now every time I open this contact record before a call or a showing, that context is right there. Quick note for when you only have 1 email to work with, which is a lot of Zillow leads. The persona won't be as detailed, but you still get more structure than you would manually. Claude will tell you what's unknown and what to listen for on the call. It'll frame the first call questions around filling in the gaps. That's actually useful. It converts a thin lead file into a structured research agenda for the call. Run the same prompt, same structure. You'll just see more unclear from available information notes, which is honest and still helpful. Here's what we built in about 4 minutes. A 6-section buyer persona, price sensitivity with a specific note on risk aversion, primary motivation, and the school district anchor, a timeline read with the natural pressure point identified, communication style preferences, 3 specific first call questions, 1 thing to avoid, and a ready-to-use call opener. Compare that to the manual process. 30 minutes of rereading emails and guessing, with no structured output and nothing saved for next time. The time saving is real. But more than time, the consistency is what matters. Every new buyer lead gets the same quality of prep. The ones who used to fall through because I wasn't as sharp on the first call start getting the same attention as the hot referrals. One thing to keep in mind. Claude is reading signals from limited data. It's working with 3 emails. The persona is an informed hypothesis, not a psychological profile. Use it to shape your approach, not to assume you know everything about the buyer before you've talked to them. The first call is still for listening. This just gives you better questions to listen around. The full structured persona prompt and the call opener prompt are both in the description. Copy them directly and try them on your next new lead. If you want the complete prompt pack for real estate agents, there's a link below. It includes 20+ workflows like this one already formatted and ready to use. Subscribe if you want the next one the day it drops. We post every week. And if you've got a lead prep situation you want to see covered, drop it in the comments. We read all of them.